Good morning. Today is Monday, 8th January 2018. I'm Ebony Brandon. These are this morning's top stories. Nationally, SKNLP leader Right Honorable Dr. Denzil Douglas says his party is readying itself to lead again. Internationally, Nigeria is evacuating citizens from Libya amid abuse. And in sport, there's hope that the upcoming Olympic Games will thaw inter-Korean relations. We also have today's weather forecast and Carib update. Now for a look at the news developments in detail. With just about 2 years left until elections are held again, St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party leader, Right Honorable Dr. Denzil Douglas has declared his organization's readiness to lead once again. During his speech to those gathered at his 18th annual New Year's Gala last Friday, Dr. Douglas indicated that the party's recently established candidate selection committee has completed its work. It can therefore be expected that very shortly, as was promised at the party's December 2017 press conference, that the SKNLP candidates will contest the 2022 federal elections will soon be announced. The opposition leader said that this is the first of many moves to come which are intended to signal the SKNLP's seriousness about his organization's returning St. Kitts Nevis to the heights that it used to be. Adding that there is a fundamental change on the way, Dr. Douglas called upon young people in particular to become involved in the electoral and party processes and becoming registered voters. He also appealed to members of the business community present to throw their support behind the SKNLP, as his organization intends, if returned to office, to recommence projects and institute policies which will ensure their success and survivability. These renewed efforts and commitments on the part of his organization, he continued, are to see to it that the people of St. Kitts and Nevis can enjoy the best possible quality of life. The gala at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort on Friday was attended by more than 600 persons comprised of citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis from both home and abroad, residents, party supporters, members of the business community, and diplomatic corps. This year, the featured speaker was Honorable Lisa Hanna, a former Jamaican Minister of Youth and Member of Parliament with the opposition People's National Party. In other developments, veteran educator Palvin Wilkin is urging the police to embrace success personally and to measure their own success beyond the professional and financial rewards of the job. Addressing officers in Nevis recently, Mr. Wilkin added that another measure of the police force's collective success must be how well they're able to engage and cooperate with the communities they serve. Wilkin also encouraged the officers gathered at the Charlestown Police Station to foster habits which will ensure their efforts yield fruit.
The setting of quality personal and career goals will help to positively shape your life for the better. But you have to be prepared to work hard, to sacrifice, to invest time, and to be persistent. All those words, hard, sacrifice, invest time, and to be persistent, are very important to you in order to obtain the desired results which you need. Don't think you're going to get a free ride. Remember, you'll only become as successful and as good as the goals which you have set for yourself. In order to achieve your goals, you must develop the gift of self-reliance. And this would enhance your quality of life. Know what it is to be self-reliant. Don't always depend on people. When you're self-reliant, you will work towards your goals without be feeling pressured or by the unreasonable demands of your peers and your comrades. Life will not get you down because you will be in control of yourself and your thought processes. It is always good to be in control of yourself, if not the environment in which you find yourself in.
He also spoke to the importance of the officers being disciplined, decisive, consistent, and always aiming to be men and women of integrity as an important building block upon which to advance personally and also build and maintain the confidence of the public.
If you are to experience genuine success in life, you'll have to embrace integrity. Mark that word. Too many persons work hard on their images or how they look, but leave their integrity undone. You must always remember that your image is what you think you are, but your integrity is who you are as a person. Integrity, in my opinion, is the key to trust and acceptance. No matter how you try to lead people, if they don't trust you and they don't accept you, you have a tough time. That is something that the police would have to get up front. Getting people to trust them and to accept them. You cannot lead unless people accept you. So, trust and acceptance, both of which are necessary if you are to be a successful police officer. When people have integrity, their words and their deeds match. Sad to say, integrity, which is an important and integral part of the reputation, is a vanishing commodity in today's modern organizations and communities. It's disappearing. Nobody worries about integrity. Integrity is a major factor in our community policing, where the police is expected to create linkages and to successfully work closely with members of the community and public at large. So if you don't have integrity, the community don't think highly of you, forget about community involvement and community policing. These are things you must get right before that.
In international developments this morning, about 500 Nigerian refugees and migrants stranded in Libya have returned home. The Nigerian government ordered the immediate evacuation of about 5,500 Nigerians from Libya after reports of abuse, slavery, and torture. Ahmed Idris traveled with some of them and filed this report.
A cramped office in the center of Tripoli is the only decent place these Nigerian teenagers have seen in years. They left home with promises of a life of opportunity and comfort. Nothing prepared them for what followed in Libya. Joy is not her real name. She says she was sold for $1,100. To buy her freedom, she needed to pay around $2,500. Last week, she and her friends saw a chance to escape from their buyer, and they took it.
We are 2 girls, we are friends. So at night, we decided to run. We jumped fence, very high fence, at night. So we ran. We went to Soldier Man.
Similar escapes are rare in Libya. She told us many like her have been killed for the flimsiest of reasons. Some were sold for less than $200 in Libyan slave markets. This 15-year-old was promised a job as a tailor in a fashion house in Italy. On reaching a transit destination in Libya, she ended up as a domestic servant, while she says she was abused by her employers.
I worked with the white people, Arab people. They maltreated me. They didn't give me my salary. They even seized my passport, seized everything about me. Even the people that brought me here, they neglected me.
Libyan security forces say this Nigerian woman who's been living in Libya for 7 years is a people trafficker. She was alleged to have kept more than 80 girls as sex slaves. But officials say as well as Nigerian traffickers, there are also Libyans and some Europeans in the trade. The Nigerian government team on a fact-finding mission in Libya say they are shocked at what they saw and heard.
They talked about the various abuse, systematic, endemic, and exploitation of all kinds. I challenged the senior officials as to the discrepancy between the numbers. You know, they came up with all kinds of not very convincing excuses. This played into a narrative that we had been told about, that indeed there were obviously interests that wanted to keep as many of them there as possible because they were commodities.
The delegation was told there are 14 detention centers in Libya. Other reports suggest there may be as many as 30, holding as many as 40,000 Nigerians. The Nigerian government is preparing for an influx of returnees. The first government repatriation flights took off from Tripoli carrying 500 Nigerians. They flew over the Mediterranean. and the Sahara Desert, tracing the route where hundreds of travel companions died in their attempts to reach Europe. For most of the migrants on this flight home, it's a mixed feeling of being free at last and that of disappointment. They've been through so much over the past years. They're left with such promise, but had to endure a lot of pain, the indignities of slavery, torture, and rape. Yet despite their hardships and dangers, thousands more Nigerians are sure to attempt the journey to Europe and beyond.
And in sport this morning, tensions on the Korean Peninsula had cast an early chill over preparations for the Winter Olympics next month. But as hosts South Korea get ready for talks with North Korea tomorrow, many are hoping for a thaw in relations before the Games. Florence Loy reports.
The mountain town of Pyeongchang, the site of South Korea's first ski resort, and it's preparing for another achievement, to host the country's first Olympic and Paralympic Winter Games. Some of these slopes will be closed later this month for the event. Across town, finishing touches are being made, and people are looking forward to the opening ceremony in February.
I'm excited and a bit nervous that I'll be able to watch such a big event taking place here.
It's been such a long time since South Korea hosted an Olympics event. It's a good opportunity to promote the country, and especially this area.
It could also be a chance to improve inter-Korea relations. North Korea has recently said it may send its athletes to take part in the event, something South Korea says it welcomes. But security concerns over the North's nuclear weapons development remain. Organisers, however, say this isn't the first time a huge sporting event is held against a backdrop of heightened tensions.
But of course, again, safety and security are part of all of the Olympic Games. And so it's a part of our preparations that we do, but every other Olympic committee has also had to have these same measures in place. So we're working to ensure that everything is in place in time for the Games.
But an even more unpredictable factor is Mother Nature. Forecasted temperatures on the day of the opening ceremony could make it one of the coldest in 30 years. And the stadium has no roof, a deliberate design to save time and money. Officials say to counter the cold, they're installing windshields and will give out hot packs and blankets to spectators. This is a hot pack, a pocket-sized portable heater. You give it a good shake, the chemicals inside react. This pack can generate heat that'll last for at least 10 hours. Put it in your pocket and your hands are warm and toasty. For those willing to brave the cold, it's now easier to get to the venue, with a new high-speed train from Seoul to Pyeongchang. South Korea also plans to use the upcoming Olympics to showcase what it says will be the most technologically advanced games.
There's a camera placed on the helmets of competitors. Spectators can watch the event from an athlete's perspective in real time on this tablet, which uses 5G technology.
No efforts being spared to make the 2018 Winter Olympics and Paralympics a success.
And now for a look at this morning's weather forecast. Over St. Kitts and Nevis today, conditions will be partly cloudy. A few passing showers could also develop. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers. Seas are rough with swells of 2.1 to 3.1 meters or 7 to 10 feet. A warning remains in place for small craft operators and sea bathers. Winds are east to east-southeasterly at 14 to 21 miles per hour and gusting higher in showers. The sea level pressure is 1017.2 millibars or 30.04 inches. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 6:40 a.m. The sun will set today at 5:53 p.m. And across the eastern Caribbean Atlantic, a surface high pressure will generate a moderate to fresh trade wind flow across the region. Available low-level moisture embedded in the wind flow could trigger a few passing showers across the islands. Long periods of northerly swells will continue to affect the islands, creating rough sea conditions across the area. Skies over the Virgin, Leeward Islands and Windward Islands will be generally partly cloudy for today and tonight, with a chance of a few passing showers. Puerto Rico will be partly cloudy to cloudy at times, with a few passing showers. And that look at the weather concludes this morning's news presentation. A recap of today's top stories. Nationally, SKNLP leader Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas says his party is readying itself to lead again. Internationally, Nigeria is evacuating citizens from Libya amid abuse. And in sport, there's hope that the upcoming Pyeongchang Olympic Games will thaw inter-Korean relations. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your presenter, Ebony Brandon. Carib Update comes up next.